Welcome to Wire Guild. The tutorial that I'm going to be doing today is a pair of earrings that look very much like little sprigs of holly, as you can see, with garnet beads or berries that hang from them. The materials you're going to be using, you're going to need two pieces of wire, either 6" or 15cm, 20 gauge or 0.8mm round wire. Now this can be dead soft or half hard, it really doesn't matter, whatever you've got handy. I've used 4 Swarovski head pins. Now if you don't have them, that's fine, just use some bits of wire and make your own head pins, and 4 4mm beads. Now these preferably need to be red for them to look like proper little berries. I used garnets in mine. So I've got my materials laid out in front of me. I've got my 2 bits of wire and my head pins, and these are my little garnet beads. I've got they've got a slight facet on them of these, so they just add to it a little bit, make it a bit more Christmassy, you know, so they catch the light. And these are the Swarovski head pins. As you can see, the actual head of the pin is a tiny Swarovski crystal. If you're making your own, I would suggest you use slightly finer wire than normal. Use maybe a 0.5mm or a 24 gauge. So I've got 2 bits of wire 6 inches long, and I'm going to start off by taking a piece of wire and marking it at the 2-inch point. There we are. It's a very faint little mark, so I've only done it in pencil, but I can see where I need to be. And I'm putting my pliers just at the side of the mark, and then I'm going to bend the wire over. So I've got a really nice sharp bend, and now put my pliers over the top and close that together. Just squeeze. It will try and slip and it will try and move, just nice and gently, keep trying until eventually you've got it squeezed together nice and tight like that. Obviously this is going to be holly, so the bottom part of the holly leaf really needs to be a nice firm spike. Now I'm opening that up again like that. Okay, now I need my round nose pliers, because I want to make that edge into a nice curve. So I've opened it a bit more. Round nose pliers grip on over the top, and then I can just push the wire onto the pliers. Can you see that little bump? It's been caused by the jaws of the plier, so it just fits in like that. So that's the bottom of our holly leaf. So we now want to start making the little bits at the side. I want to grip the wire again. It's probably about 1/4 of an inch from the point that we've already made, but really this is meant to be a leaf. Leaves are not exact or anything like that, and I'm bending that over to close it down a little with my fingers, and then grip with the round nose pliers and curl over the pliers like that, like a little U shape. If you think that your little point is not sharp enough, just go over with your pliers and just close it down a bit. But really this doesn't matter that much. It's a leaf. It's not some exact thing. So grip on again. I'm probably about 1/4 of an inch again away from where we curved inwards, and then I'm going to bend that out like that. So I've got 2 little spikes with bends in between. I'm going to do the same on the other side. So grip with my pliers, a bit further, there we go, do it about there, and bend in, all the way in, round nose pliers, onto the wire that we just bent, and curve that wire using the pliers to shape the wire around so it comes back out again. Grip again, bend it back. Okay, and then grip with our pliers and bend out. There we go. Almost a holly leaf. You know, it doesn't have to be exact, doesn't this? So I've straightened up the longer wire and the wire and put them both together. and then just gripping with my finger and thumb so they stay together. I'm just going to wrap the shorter wire around the longer wire. Just tighten that down a little bit. Going round a couple of times, and then I'm going to trim that end off. Press down the little sharp bit close to the wire. And there we have our holly leaf. I'm just opening it up slightly. There we go. Now, you're probably wondering why we have all this wire left. It's because the earrings are part and parcel. So, grip across the top on the front, that's the back, that's the front. So I've gripped with my pliers, and now I'm going to take my wire and bend it forwards towards the front. Move my pliers so that I've got some room to go round, and wrap all the way around so that you've got this loop that's sticking forwards. Straighten it up with my other pliers. There we go. Just make sure that's straight and tucked in. Then we're going to make almost like the French hook, if you like, out of the rest of the wire. Just push that a little bit further. We want it to tuck in nice and neatly and still be a good firm circle. So taking my round nose pliers, I'm going to go above that circle we made. Can you see there? Not quite touching. Grip, bend forward slightly, and then bend it all the way around the thicker part of your round nose pliers, and then curve the back with your finger. And that is your holly earring. That end's a bit long. I will trim that off later, but for now we'll do the other earring, so you get to watch me do the whole thing all over again. So 2 inches, mark your wire, or if you like me, just put your finger on it so you know where it is. Grip it with your pliers, bend over so you get a sharp bend, and put the pliers over the top to get that closed down. Open the wires up slightly. If they try and twist, don't let them. That's it. Round nose pliers over the top and shape, whoops, falling off, and shape around the jaws of the pliers so you get a nice bend. With your flat pliers, grip on probably about 1/4 inch away from the bend and bend all the way over. If you need to tighten that up, go over the top with your pliers and tighten it slightly. Grip with your round nose pliers and bend the wire in a nice U shape so it's pointing back outwards again. Flat pliers on, bend all the way in. Okay, round nose pliers on and bend all the way back out. So you're just coming in and out, getting this sort of jimpy edge. Same on the other side. So flat pliers on, back 1/4 inch, bend in, all the way in. Round nose pliers on and shape them back out. Flats on and bend them in, all the way in. Round nose pliers back on and bend out again. Right, we're at the top. Bring your wires together. Just have a look, see if they're roughly the same size. They don't need to match the leaves. It's okay. Hold them in your fingers, take your pliers and wrap your wire, the shorter wire, around the longer wire just a couple of times. There we go. Trim off any excess and press down any little sharp bit that may be there. Okay, just get my ruler out of the way. Now let's just open that up a little bit like we did with the other one. Right, get the circle on. So round nose pliers go on, bend the wire forward, move the pliers so you've got some room, and then wrap that all the way around so you have this nice circle sitting at the front. Straighten up with another pair of pliers. Yep. Round nose pliers. Now, easy way to make sure you get them same length is to grip both earrings, in the pliers at the same time. So there you know I'm going. That's my little bend back to make sure that you get that little curve as it comes forward on French hooks, and I've just bent the back with my fingers slightly. So 2 holly shaped frames. Let's just cut some of this length off. We don't need all that length. They need to be probably shorter than the actual front of the earring itself. So we'll trim that down. Obviously if you want these much longer, you would have a longer bit at the front. Personally I'd suggest maybe sticking some beads above that circle. If you find the end is rough, you'll need a pair of pliers and you'll just want to file that over. Head pins. Little garnet bead. Come on. There we go. Thread straight onto the head pin.
I can win like 5 games in a row.
You'll need your round nose pliers. And just grip. Now make sure that they're at a nice length so they're going to dangle. And then just bend the wire over and around and past. So I haven't fastened anything together. That's so that I can just thread that then through that loop that we created. Round nose pliers goes across the loop. This holds everything nice and firm, and then you can wind that back around itself nice and neatly all the way around. Trim off with your snips. There we go. Come off. Put that on one side because these head pins, these Swarovski head pins, just flatten that end down. They're not made out of silver, they're just plate. So I've just made sure I put that to one side so it doesn't go in the scrap pot. So I've got my first little bead on. Now we're going to need a second one. You can put as many of these on if you want. If you want 3 of these on, you can have 3, but I tend to just put 2 on. So garnet bead onto the head pin. Now obviously I don't want these the same length, so instead of curling, let me just straighten that up there, which would be the same length, I want it lower down. So I'm going to move my pliers further up so that I've got a longer length, and then I can make my bend over the top and all the way around and past, but I'm not going to fasten anything. And then I slip that through the loop, put my round nose pliers over the top of the loop. Now I'm not going to do this as tight. Instead of doing it all the way next to each other, I'm going to do more of a spiral going down the stem. This is because if I did it really tight, there wouldn't be enough wire to go all the way down to the bead. So I'm going to do it more like a spiral. I need to move my pliers down because it's starting to bend. There we go. Because the wire's finer, it's not as strong. So it helps that it's got this extra bit of wire going down to give it support. So if you open that spiral out, you get the support all the way down to your bead. So let's just press down that end bit, make sure that's in. Straighten that up a bit. And there we have a little sprig of holly with 2 little red beads. Very sweet. Okay, so we need to do the same thing now on the other one. Now I did say at the beginning, if you don't have any of these little Swarovski head pins, if you watch the skill set video on how to make head pins, you can make your own and do, move the hair out of the way, and do exactly the same thing. with those that you would do. Or if you're into using a torch and you ball the ends, they look really good. Or if you want to buy some other head pins, any of them work just as well. The only thing is I'd use a slightly lighter weight or lighter gauge silver to do it with. I wouldn't do it with 0.8 or 20 gauge like we've used to make the framework. I would use probably 0.5mm or 24 gauge, I think it will be, yeah. So I'm doing exactly the same thing again. I've done a slightly shorter one, so I'm wrapping this round nice and tight until I get down towards the bead, and then I'll just trim that off and then get in with the pliers and just smooth that down. Lovely. And then, yeah, just move those out of the way. The people that I send scrap back to are fits if it gets muddled up with something that's not silver. There we go. Another head pin. Longer length again, like I did with the other one. Bend all the way around to make our loop. Pass that through the loop on the earring. And wrap around. Again, we've got a longer length, so I'm going round as a loose spiral instead of a very tight wrap. Move the pliers down so that the wire doesn't bend. That's it. The closer you hold him, the less likely that the wire will move and distort, because it doesn't have as much room to go anywhere. Make sure the end's pressed down. Now don't worry too much if one's slightly longer than the other on the other ear. It doesn't matter. There we go. A pair of holly earrings with little wiggly garnet dangles. Great fun, but sort of stylised enough that if you want to wear them the rest of the year, they really don't mind. Picture of them in close up, show you what they look like, and I hope you enjoyed it. Happy wrapping!